We got up one morning there, just this side of Marla, and we went into Marla to have breakfast, and Howard said, "I've got it." I said, "What's that?" He said, "I've got a name for the story." I said, "Oh yeah, Bush Trucker Man." So we've stuck with it ever since. I'm not really into things like that too much, to be honest, but we'd just done this as a fundraiser for the Flying Doctor, and I said to them about it, and they said, "Oh, let's run with it." So our letters went out as the Bush Trucker Man. A lot of the publicity in the newspapers has said about the legendary Bush Trucker Man is doing this and done that. So I think it's good because it just gives a bit more flair and stuff to the story. Yeah, my name is Jeff Fullwood. I come from Quorn in South Australia, great little town just outside of Port Augusta in the Flinders Ranges. The truck is a 1942 Chev-Blitz. I found it out at Minterby Opal Fields, where it was hauling fuel around the opal fields out there. I got it about 6 years ago. But when I first saw the truck, it wasn't in very good shape, but I had a vision, and what you see behind me here is exactly that vision. It was then I had dreams and what I wanted to do with it once we restored it, and what we've just done recently has been one of those dreams. This trip here, which I've been sort of building up to over the last 6 years with other trips into the bush, was a round trip going up from home at Quorn to Maree to a show there for Tom Kruse's Back and Beyond movie, and then went up to Birdsville at the Birdsville track, which was a dream, and then we went across the Simpson desert to Dalhousie up to here, which I wouldn't say was a nightmare, but it was a real challenge, and for both the six of us that went on it and the old girl here, but it was just absolutely the best experience of my life. I'm really passionate about the history of road transport, not only the trucks but the people that used to do it, and by me getting out doing this, not only shows other people, but it's a real experience for myself. It's being so interested in it. You can read books, you can watch movies, but until you really get out there and do it, and experience it, you really appreciate the old fellas and the old ways, how they used to do it, and watching those old fellas' reactions to seeing this truck here and seeing what we're doing is a real buzz as well, because they really get a kick out of it, and so do all their families. We've had some terrific feedback from the likes of Tom Kruse's family and Ken Crombie's, people that used to work for Tom and for Harry Ding, who were both male contractors up the Birdsville track. Well, the preparation really has been over the last few years. I reckon that we've done a few trial runs. One was up here to Alice a couple of years ago, just followed the old GAN line up from home, and I thought that was pretty hard, but it was still always a dream to come across the Simpson. Like being a truckie myself and working in the outback, I've got a fair idea, just in basic trucking, what you need in a vehicle, how it has to be prepared just to operate, and safely and get there. And that's what I've been doing with this old girl, is just prepared it mechanically best I could, and then try it, and everything's just performed just beyond my expectations. Preparation, prior to leaving, I spent 2 weeks just getting the load right, getting all spare parts off other blitzes that I had, those spare parts I thought I might need, and then organising. There's lots of other stuff too. It's got all we had 2 support vehicles, and getting all that preparation with all the tucker and just all your tools, and just it was a fairly big job to get prepared for it. But the success of something like this, I reckon, really does depend on your preparation, and we've just come across one of the hardest runs in Australia for any vehicle we had a few little problems, but nothing got replaced on the truck. She got here in one piece, so yeah, it's all in the preparation, and the old girl here appreciated it, I'm sure, the way that she performed out there, because she was really in her element. Out in the desert, we're getting 1-to-1, which is about the same as I get with a triple road train. So in the desert itself, in the dunes, I was only getting 1 kilometre per litre. We've just had the motor rebuilt just before I left. We went right through it, everything this time, and it's probably running as good as it ever has, but I'm still only getting on normal dirt roads about 3 kilometres per litre. So it's, I carried about 800 litres with me when I left, and there's not much left there now. The best you can do on the bitumen is between 50 and 60 kilometres an hour, and you know, I'm still only getting about 3 k's per litre on there, so yeah, they are pretty thirsty. Putting them on, but it was just common sense. We put new tyres on, and I had to run the pressures right down. These tyres here are 16 ply, and I ran around 15 pound in them. There was a danger of staking them, but these have got fairly heavy walls, fairly strong walls on them, so there's the danger of staking them if you run them too low. There's also the danger of spinning them on the rims in the dunes with all the power it's got. And yeah, and you don't want them too tight, or else you just can't get the traction in the sand. So the tyre, we didn't have any trouble with tyres, no flat tyres, fortunately, because I hadn't worked out how I was going to get spare tyres back, like the tyres back up on top of the tray, but we would have worked something out. But no, we didn't have any tyre trouble. I did a bit of research because there was going to be a lot of old timers back at Maree for the show there, and I just did a bit of research and found out all the mail contractors for the Postmaster General's department up the Birdsville track, and then out of those I just listed Harry Ding's 31 drivers and then Tom Kruse's drivers, and seeing the reaction from some of the old timers, they just stood there and they were just mesmerised as they looked at those names, and then they just occasionally just told you a little story about them. And then what was also great was the families of those people saying, look, that was my dad, well, that was my grandfather there. And it's something that I don't know what I'll do with that drum in time, in years to come, but whether it goes in the lounge room or it goes in here, the Hall of Fame, my plan is, or probably one day I will put this truck here into the Hall of Fame after I've finished all the joints around the bush. Yeah, I was glad that I did that little memento there. Yeah, it was good. The only time that anything hooked onto this truck from home to here was a great moment for me. It was at Maree on the Sunday morning there that I hooked onto Tom Kruse's Badger and tow-started it for him because the battery was flat. I jumped at that opportunity, got that on tape, so it's something a bit special.
Jeff, you're up.